This is part two of the conversation about the swastika. Since I was talking about the word Jew, let's really wind that down. There's evidence that the Remus translation of the New Testament into English was first printed in 1582, but the word Jew did not appear in it. The King James translation of the New Testament into English, when published in 1611, did not contain the word Jew in it as well. However, when the revised 18th century editions of both these Bibles came out and distributed to the clergy and laity, the word Jew first appeared. In the 18th century, the word Jew appeared to have one meaning, and it simply meant Judea. Actually, in Latin, the letter I was pronounced with the English letter sounding Y. See, it wasn't like we take Greek. When you see I, if it's followed by a vowel, you automatically add the J sound to it. And that is the reason why the letter J follows the letter I in the English alphabet, because the letter J was the last letter added to the English alphabet, and it closely resembled or have a connotation to its brother, the letter I, and that's the reason why it's H-I-J, to show that connotation. All right, during the latter 18th century and the early 19th through the early 20th century, a secondary meaning of the word Jew was added. At first, they never even recognized. They never recognized the word Jew. And when I said recognized, I mean they didn't even respect it. They didn't even want to add it or even say it. But the people with influence of the time began to petition for that, and they also petitioned for a second meaning of the word Jew. And the second meaning of the word Jew, it bears no relations to the 18th century original meaning of the word Jew. The original meaning of the word Jew in the 18th century meant as a Judean. This is and you can find this from the books Facts Are Facts by Benjamin Friedman. That would be on pages 15 through 21. In the Bible, the word Jew means a resident of the land of Judea, regardless of their tribe, race, or religion. The Jew, Greek word 2453, as a country, Judean, or as we would say, Judean, or Jehuda, or better yet, Yehuda, right? Today the church thinks that Jews are the people of Israel, but that is wrong. An Israelite is someone who had descended from Jacob. In Jesus' times, the reason why they gave him a hard time, because some of them were not descendants of Jacob. Were not descendants of Israel and Jacob. This is one of the reasons that Jesus would call them their father was the devil. Why do you think he was saying that? A person who is called a Jew in the Bible, even though it's a new word, does not mean he is a chosen man of God, a follower of Moses or the prophets, or a member of the tribe of Judah, or an Israelite. And you see that today plainly if you open your eyes. That's not a secret. Those who call themselves Jews today had tricked themselves and others into thinking that they are somehow descendants of the tribe of Israel and chosen of God. And that's the reason why they have the same arrogance, pride, and a lot of Jews don't deal with anyone else who isn't Jewish. But they're not the chosen people of God. They throw that up so much, and they puff their chest out so much that it is sickening, because they now have a modern version of Hebrew. However, when the Limba tribe was found in Ethiopia, they didn't come out and say we're Hebrews or we're Jews, we're ancient Jews. They were discovered. They lived in poverty and they were speaking ancient Hebrew. They kept all of the rituals of ancient Hebrews that they did in Israel. This is not a secret. They spoke ancient Hebrew, not modern Hebrew. And so what happened? That wasn't good enough for their more European looking Jewish folks. They DNA test them. And when they did the DNA test, 70% of them DNA could be traced to the tribe of who? Of Aaron. So a lot of people today saying they from the tribe of Aaron, that's, I'm not going to say because they're lighter skinned. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just giving you facts that's verified. And so what happened? They took a lot of these people and brought them to Israel and began to do what Edomites do, which is to find out ancient Hebrew. And if you see these people now, that's why when you go to Israel, very few people talk about the darker Hebrews or the darker Jews. They always cater to the lighter or whiter Jews because that white is better or lighter is better, and white privilege still exists today in the land of Israel and America and in the psyches of so-called Christians. These are facts. Not only does the Bible prove it, DNA proved it, and they told them who we came from. We're from Solomon and Sheba. And some of these people go beyond that. In different other regions of Africa, which they never tell you about, it's always the Jews are white. And I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just telling you the truth. And when you see the word locks in the Bible as pertains to the hair, it never means twisted curly hair like you see the Jews wearing today. It's pretty much mean nappy hair. Or at times braided hair. It's never curly hair. Again, here we go. The Jewish Almanac says this. This is the Jewish Almanac. Says this. It is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew, or to call a contemporary Jew a Israelite or a Hebrew. The first Hebrews would not have been Jews at all, and the Palestinians have to include Jews among their own peoples. See, God, this is me now, God will not respond to what is done to a lot of the people in Israel because they are the chosen ones. God is merciful. His mercy endures forever. However, you have, when you mess with his land, that's a different story. See, in 1611, the New Bible, which is the King James, became the New Bible, the official Bible of England, and the only Bible to the English church. There have been countless revisions of the King James Bible in 1615, 1629, 1638, 1762, and 1769. The Messiah called the Jews from the synagogue of Satan. And this same Jewish spirit is what's being pushed today. And I'm not anti-Jew. I'm speaking the truth because the word Jew is a new word. But if you open up your eyes, start looking at what's being pushed, and you say Madonna, she's in the Kabbalah. Matter of fact, some of the most mass murders in world history were Jews. Not biblical Hebrews. So you got to separate the two. When you think Jew, most people think biblical Hebrews, but that's not true. I just gave you the facts behind that. Al Capone, the notorious gangster, right? He was Jew. Al Capone wasn't his real name. So when you start looking at, Hitler was part Jew. When you start looking at the body of works, remember, a lot of these people you see are actually Hungarian, right? Like when people start talking about Yiddish, that's German, right? A lot of these people also from the Middle East, they converted to Judaism. And Judaism isn't anything to be proud of as a religion either. I know Christians want to relate that closely to them, but if you study what they believe, you might want to leave that alone. These people converted to a religion and came to an ancient land and claimed it as their own, as all would-be conquerors would. Just like the white Europeans came to America and took it away from the native Americans, which were Indians and blacks and other cultures was here as well. It wasn't just Indians in America. That's proven. And now they call the land they own. And because of the spirit behind the Edomites, because all they do is steal, kill, murder, and rape, and take what is other people, make them to their own, they have a problem with the land which they stolen. And anyone else coming to this land that don't look like them and fit the bill, now they hate you. Let me tell you how evil these people are. The descendants of Esau are the Edomites. You can read some of these things in Malachi chapter 1, verses 1 through 4. These people have an inherent evil in their DNA. This is the reason why they are so much against God, and anybody has anything against God. They also have an inherent evil against the children of God. Not Christians, but the children of God. Let me ask you this question. What would cause a white person to have slaves that are black? And not just, and you know, that's part of the game. When you're on top, you do have slaves. But you inherently hate them. I mean, just hate them. Not conquer them. Part of their conquering in war is to break somebody. I get that. But after you have broken the people, took them out of their land, separated the families, raped their women, bring them to a foreign land, don't educate them, but you still hate them. As if that's not good enough, let's burn them, let's hang them, and then the word that most people heard before, gator bait. Gator bait. That's when they took a black child and used that as bait to catch alligators. And you can see cartoon characters of that, comic strips of that, even action figures of that. What would make a person or a tribe or race of people hate someone who never done anything to them? That's in their DNA. That's what the Edomites does. And see, even today, you have a lot of white people that hate other people that ain't white, and the other people never did anything to them. You're lazy, you're stupid, you're this and you're that. Well, there are more white people on welfare than black people. But that doesn't matter when the hatred is in your DNA. And even the Christians today, and Christian is not really a great thing, because the Christian was actually meant poor fellow back in the day. It was never a compliment. And yet the believers of the Messiah would embrace a word that they never call. They were never, the disciples of the Messiah was never called in the first place. That's how misguided a lot of Christians is. And that's the reason why things doesn't appear to work in Christianity. And that is why westernized Christianity is designed for you to fail. You'll never get close to your God, because there's too many things you're in ignorance of. And the teachings of westernized Christianity has been infiltrated to the degree it keeps you coming to church, but you'll never get close to your God. And the things that you believe in, you'll never get them. And that's fact. So this is what I'm saying. The swastika, the Fourth Reich, all these things are coming about, and it's going to introduce part of when the Antichrist stepped on the scene. Let me go back a little bit. There are so many things happening within the earth on so many different levels right now, and the United States is a microcosm of it to a degree, but it's on a worldwide scale. The Fourth Reich is being birthed right before our eyes, and as believers in the Messiah, we have to come out of our ignorance, not just of the world, but of westernized Christianity. You have to divorce westernized Christianity. You have to divorce westernized Christianity. You have to divorce westernized Christianity and come into the truth of the voice of God in print, which is the Word of God. I know that may be a hard pill to swallow, but again, all I'm doing is speaking truth. And hopefully you can handle it.